A warm welcome to all our loyal subscribers and first-time viewers. We are so appreciative of your continued support and enthusiasm for our content. For those of you joining us for the first time, we invite you to become part of our growing community by hitting that subscribe button, giving us a thumbs up if you find this video helpful, and sharing your thoughts or questions in the comments section. Don't forget to share our videos with your friends and family too, because the more, the merrier. Today we're delving into a topic that's of paramount importance to anyone involved with cattle, from large-scale farmers to small hobbyists. We're talking about ticks, those pesky parasites that can cause a whole host of issues for our bovine friends. But fear not, we're here to arm you with the knowledge and strategies needed to prevent these unwelcome guests. So without further ado, let's dive right into this crucial topic: how to prevent ticks in cattle. First things first, we need to understand what ticks are and the threat they pose to your cattle. Ticks are small, blood-sucking parasites that are part of the arachnid family. They're crafty hitchhikers, waiting patiently on grass and plants for a host to pass by. When an unsuspecting cow brushes past, they latch on and get to work. Now, let's delve into the life cycle of a tick. It's a fascinating, albeit slightly unsettling journey. Ticks start off as tiny eggs, which hatch into six-legged larvae. After their first blood meal, often from small mammals or birds, they molt into eight-legged nymphs. Once they've had another feast, they become adults. The entire process can take anywhere from a few months to over a year, depending on the species and environment. The real issue with ticks isn't their creepy crawly nature or their life cycle, but the diseases they carry. Ticks are notorious vectors for a range of bacterial and viral illnesses. Lyme disease is a well-known example, but cattle are more commonly affected by diseases like anaplasmosis, babesiosis, and tick fever. These illnesses can result in severe health issues like weight loss, decreased milk production, infertility, or even death. The financial impact on the cattle industry can be substantial. It's not just the potential loss of individual animals that's concerning. An infestation can decrease overall herd productivity, leading to significant economic losses. Plus, the cost of treating tick-borne diseases and managing infestations can quickly add up. In addition to the immediate health and economic impacts, ticks can also affect the long-term genetic potential of your herd. Certain tick-borne diseases can cause genetic mutations, reducing the quality of offspring and limiting future herd improvement. Knowing the enemy is half the battle, isn't it? Now let's move on to the preventative measures. The fight against ticks begins right at your farm. The environment in which your cattle live plays a crucial role in tick infestations. It's not just about the animals themselves, but also about the surroundings. Let's talk about maintaining a clean and dry environment. It's a known fact that ticks thrive in damp, cluttered surroundings. So, keep your farm tidy and ensure it's not overly damp or filled with stagnant water. Regularly clean out cattle shelters, feeding areas, and other spaces where your cattle spend time. This doesn't just mean sweeping up hay, although that's part of it. It also means regularly inspecting these areas for ticks, and promptly removing any that you find. But what if you have already cleaned up and still find ticks? This is where pasture management comes into play. Ticks aren't big travelers. They tend to stay close to where they hatch, which is often in tall grasses and brush. By keeping grass low and removing brush, you can make your farm less attractive to ticks. Rotational grazing is another effective strategy. By moving your cattle from one pasture to another, you can disrupt the life cycle of ticks, reducing their numbers. This is because ticks often rely on a steady supply of hosts to feed on. And by changing pastures, you're essentially cutting off their food supply. And don't forget to consider the wildlife. Deer, rodents, and other creatures can bring ticks onto your farm. You might want to think about wildlife deterrence or fencing to keep these potential tick carriers away from your cattle. In the end, the principle is simple. A clean, well-managed farm is less likely to have a serious tick problem. By taking these steps, you can create an environment that's not just healthier for your cattle, but also less inviting to ticks. Remember, a clean farm is a tick-free farm. But that's not all, let's move on to our next step. In addition to maintaining a clean environment, using preventative treatments is a key step in tick control. But how do you decide which treatment is right for your herd? Well, there's a range of options available, each with its own merits. Firstly, we have pour-on treatments. These are solutions that you literally pour along the backline of your cattle. They're easy to apply and can cover a large area effectively. However, their efficiency can be affected by factors such as the thickness of the cattle's coat and weather conditions. Next up, we've got sprays. Sprays can be used for treating individual animals or even whole herds. They're versatile and can be applied either manually or with the help of mechanical sprayers. But remember, spraying requires more labor and can be time-consuming, especially if you have a large herd. Injectable treatments are another option. These are systemic treatments that, when injected, spread throughout the animal's body, effectively targeting ticks wherever they may be. While injectable treatments can be very effective, they require a higher level of skill to administer and may not be suitable for all situations. And then there are tick collars. These are placed around the animal's neck, releasing a slow, continuous supply of pesticide that helps to control ticks. While they can be very effective, tick collars are generally better suited to smaller herds or individual animals. But remember, not all treatments are created equal, and what works for one herd may not work for another. That's why it's so important to consult with a veterinarian. They can help you assess the specific needs of your herd and choose the most suitable treatment method. Preventative treatments are a crucial part of a comprehensive tick control strategy. They can help to reduce the burden of ticks on your cattle, improving their health and productivity. Choosing the right preventative treatment can make all the difference. Let's move on to our final step. Last but not least, regular health checks and proper tick removal are crucial in preventing tick-borne diseases. Now you may wonder why regular health checks are so important. Well, just like us, our bovine friends can't tell us when they're feeling a bit off. And often, the signs of tick-borne diseases aren't immediately obvious. Regular health checks allow us to spot these signs early and take action before the situation escalates. These checks aren't just about looking for signs of illness though, they're also about actively searching for ticks. You see, ticks love to hide in the nooks and crannies of a cow's body, like behind the ears, between the legs, and under the tail. So, during your health checks, make sure to inspect these areas thoroughly. Now let's say you find a tick. What do? First, don't panic. Second, don't try to pull it out with your fingers or burn it off. These methods can cause the tick to regurgitate its stomach contents into the cow, increasing the risk of disease transmission. Instead, use a tick twister or a similar tool. This simple device hooks under the tick and gently removes it without causing any harm. Here's how you do it. First, slide the twister under the tick, making sure the tick's body is in the slot of the twister. Then, simply twist until the tick lets go. It's as easy as that. No tugging, no burning, just a smooth twist, and the tick is out. After removal, it's a good idea to disinfect the area to prevent infection. And don't forget to dispose of the tick properly. Crushing it or flushing it down the toilet should do the trick. Regular health checks and proper tick removal are more than just preventive measures. They're a way of ensuring the well-being of your cattle, helping them live healthier and happier lives. Remember, early detection and proper removal can save your cattle from a lot of discomfort and diseases. Let's take a moment to summarize what we've learned today. It all begins with understanding ticks and the impact they can have on your cattle. These tiny parasites are more than a nuisance. They can transmit diseases that can seriously affect the health of your herd. Next, we talked about environment management for tick control. By keeping your pastures clear of tall grasses and weeds, you can eliminate the areas where ticks thrive, reducing the risk of infestation. We also discussed preventative treatments for cattle. From topical solutions to injectables, these treatments can provide your cattle with an added layer of protection against ticks. Lastly, we emphasize the importance of regular health checks and tick removal. By staying vigilant and removing ticks promptly, you can prevent them from causing harm to your cattle. And that's a wrap. Remember, prevention is always better than cure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.